in the morning.
Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Today is an absolutely wild day to be a fan of the show, and we seriously need to dive into the latest bombshells. Grab a snack and get comfortable, because the drama we are about to unpack is off the charts. I cannot even breathe right now, seriously. Am I the only one who was screaming at their television screen during that Genoa City Athletic Club scene? Because I am still shaking. I literally paced around my living room and had to sit back down just to process what the writers are doing to us right now. You guys know we have been following this show for years. I mean, I've been watching since 2015, and this is easily one of the most unhinged, messy, and absolutely brilliant things they have ever done. Victoria and Kyle. Victoria and Kyle. I am half celebrating because the chemistry is undeniably electric, and I am half complaining because this is going to absolutely destroy Claire. But honestly, I am so here for the absolute chaos this is going to unleash on the Newman and Abbott families. And let's just jump right into the absolute mess of it all before I even try to break down the logic. Because seeing Claire walk into the GCC and freeze in her tracks while her own mother is having this deeply intimate, emotionally charged moment with her ex-boyfriend is top-tier soap opera gold. I mean, can we talk about the sheer horror on Claire's face? I felt so bad for her, but at the same time, I was glued to the screen. You cannot look away from a train wreck this spectacular. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up and talk about how we even got to this deeply inappropriate but incredibly fascinating moment between the Newman Ice Queen and the Abbott Golden Boy. So, we have to talk about Victoria's mental state right now, because the woman is practically holding onto her sanity by a single, frayed thread. Nikki just got the most horrific, grim medical diagnosis imaginable. We are talking about a fast-growing brain tumor on top of her severe multiple sclerosis flare-ups. And Victoria is carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders because Nikki has strictly forbidden her from telling Victor. Can you imagine keeping a secret like that from Victor Newman? The stress alone would break anyone. Victoria is watching her mother rapidly decline, terrified that she is going to lose her, and she has to put on this brave, stoic face for the rest of the world. But it is not just Nikki's illness that is destroying Victoria from the inside out. We have to remember the profound trauma she is still suffering from after the sudden, tragic death of Cole Howard. Claire even called her out on it recently, pointing out that Victoria is projecting her grief and assuming the absolute worst about Nikki because she is still so traumatized by losing Cole. So when Victoria retreats to the GCC to just find one quiet moment of peace, she is a shattered woman. She is vulnerable, she is exhausted, and she is desperately in need of someone to just hold her and tell her that the sky isn't falling, even though it completely is. And who happens to be at the exact same club, drowning in his own absolute nightmare of a life, Hal Abbott. Let me just say, I have been incredibly frustrated with Kyle in the past, but my heart is genuinely breaking for him right now, because his mother, Diane, is missing. And not just missing, but held captive by that absolute psychopath Dr. Lawrence Markham, while Patty Williams is essentially holding the entire Abbott family hostage. Kyle is watching his father, Jack, fake a romance with Patty, the woman who literally drugged and sexually assaulted Jack on a yacht years ago, just to figure out where Diane is. I mean, can we just pause and acknowledge how sick and twisted the Abbott Mansion situation is right now? Kyle and Tracy literally had to pack their bags and move out of their own family home because Patty demanded to move in with Jack. Kyle is terrified for his mother's life. He is furious at the entire situation, and he is completely powerless to stop it because Victor Newman is secretly funding Patty's reign of terror. Kyle is a ticking time bomb of anxiety and rage. He is just as broken and vulnerable as Victoria is in this exact moment. So when these two damaged souls collide in the middle of the GCC, it is like a magnet pulling them together. So Kyle sees Victoria sitting there, looking completely defeated. And instead of the usual Newman Abbott snark, instead of the corporate bickering we are so used to seeing between them, Kyle just approaches her as a human being who recognizes another human being in pain. He sits down, and he offers her this genuine, raw comfort. He doesn't know the details about Nikki's tumor, and she doesn't know the full extent of the horror show with Patty and Diane, but they don't need to. They just share this profound, silent understanding of mutual suffering, and let me tell you, the sparks were flying. I was practically yelling at my TV, "Do not do it, do not lean in," but at the same time, I wanted them to. Because Kyle was looking at her with such tenderness, and Victoria actually let her guard down, the Ice-Queen melted. She leaned into his comfort, finding solace in the arms of a man she used to absolutely despise. It was such a beautifully acted scene. You could feel the weight of their respective worlds lifting just for a second as they found this unexpected safe harbor in each other. But of course, because this is Genoa City, no one is allowed to have a private moment of comfort without someone walking in at the exact worst possible second. Enter Claire Newman. "Oh my God, you guys!" The gasp I let out when the camera panned to Claire standing in the doorway. "I am sorry, but there is absolutely nothing more mortifying than walking into a room and seeing your mother having an intense, emotionally charged, borderline romantic moment with your ex-boyfriend. The man you used to love. The man you thought you were going to build a life with." Claire's face just completely crumbled, and I felt that in my soul. How on earth is she supposed to process what she just saw? Let's really think about this from Claire's perspective. She has been going through absolute hell lately. She has been trying to support Victoria through the grief of losing Cole. She has been dealing with her own messy feelings about Holden Novak and his secret baby with Audra Charles. And she has been trying to figure out where she fits into this wildly dysfunctional Newman family. And now, she has to witness her mother seeking comfort from Kyle. It is a betrayal on a level that I don't even think Victoria fully comprehends yet. Because in Claire's mind, Kyle is off limits. He is the ex. He is the guy who broke her heart. Remember when they tried this kind of messy family triangle years ago? Like when Phyllis was bouncing between Jack and Nick, or when Victor was constantly torn between Nikki and Ashley. Yeah, it always ends in absolute disaster. But this, a mother and daughter tangled up with the same Abbott man, this takes the cake. It is so incredibly taboo and messy, and I am absolutely eating it up. Because Victoria has always presented herself as this pillar of morality and strength, judging everyone else for their messy personal lives. And now here she is, practically swooning over her daughter's ex-boyfriend in the middle of a public athletic club. And you know what? I think Kyle is actually genuinely attracted to Victoria. I don't think this was just a fleeting moment of comfort for him. We have seen the subtle hints for weeks now. The lingering looks, the almost kisses on New Year's Eve, the constant bickering that was clearly just masking deep sexual tension. Kyle is drawn to Victoria's power and her vulnerability, and Victoria is drawn to Kyle's youth and his unexpected empathy. It is a recipe for a massive, scandalous affair that is going to rock Genoa City to its absolute core. But what is Claire going to do now? Is she going to confront Victoria immediately and scream at her in the middle of the GCC? Or is she going to run away and keep this toxic secret bottled up inside until it explodes? Personally, I think Claire is going to spiral. She is already so fragile, and seeing this is going to push her right over the edge. I wouldn't be surprised if this drives her straight back into the arms of Holden Novak, despite all the lies he told her about his secret child with Audra. Because when you feel betrayed by your own mother, you tend to make really reckless, destructive choices. I know some people are loving this Victoria and Kyle pairing, but personally, I think it is going to destroy the Newman family from the inside out. Victor is already going to lose his mind when he finds out about Nikki's diagnosis, but can you imagine Victor Newman's reaction when he discovers his golden child, Victoria, is sleeping with Jack Abbott's son? The same Jack Abbott that Victor is currently trying to destroy using Patty Williams. The fallout is going to be apocalyptic. Victor will absolutely try to ruin Kyle, and Victoria will be caught right in the middle of a war between her father and her new, highly inappropriate lover. And let's not forget about Diane. If Diane ever escapes from Dr. Markham's creepy hostage house and finds out that her precious son Kyle is hooking up with Victoria Newman, she will lose her absolute mind. Diane hates the Newmans with a burning passion, and the idea of her son being with Victor's daughter will make her physically sick. The Thanksgiving dinners alone would be a bloodbath. I am just picturing the screaming matches between Diane and Victoria, and I am already popping my popcorn. Okay, back to the point. The sheer emotional weight of that scene at the GCAC cannot be overstated. Victoria is drowning in grief and fear for Nikki. Kyle is drowning in terror and rage over Diana and Patty. They are two people who are drowning, and they just grabbed onto each other to stay afloat. It is beautifully tragic, but it is also so incredibly damaging, because Claire is the collateral damage in this scenario. Claire is the one who has to stand in the doorway and watch her mother find solace in the arms of the man she used to love. I just cannot get over the look in Claire's eyes. It was this mix of shock, disgust, and profound heartbreak. She has spent so much time trying to be the perfect daughter, trying to help Victoria through her grief over Cole, trying to be the supportive rock for Nikki. And this is how she is repaid. By watching her mother cross the ultimate boundary. I am sorry, but there are certain rules in girl code, and do not touch your daughter's ex-boyfriend is literally rule number 1. Victoria should know better, but she is so blinded by her own pain that she isn't even thinking about the consequences. I'm going to be thinking about this episode for weeks. The writers have truly outdone themselves with this messy, twisted, emotionally complex storyline. I am dreading the fallout, but I am also counting down the seconds until the next episode. Will Kyle and Victoria take things to the bedroom? Will Claire confront them and burn the whole place down? Will Victor find out and launch a corporate war against Kyle? I need answers, and I need them now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I am losing my mind over here and I desperately need to vent with people who get it.